Hey everyone, it's Diego Viteri. Welcome to a new video, Viteri Boxing. Today I want to teach you how to create distance. It doesn't matter if you like to put pressure into your opponent. You need to always be able to create some distance because that will allow you to do a lot of things. Today I will teach you different techniques and exercises so you can work at home. Let's begin. There are 4 reasons why you should create distance with your opponent. Number 1 is because you can neutralize any attack. It's the best kind of defense. It doesn't matter if he throws a super haymaker or a super overhand. If you create some distance, it's impossible for him to catch me or to do any damage. Even if he's Mike Tyson, if I have this distance, it's impossible for him. Number 2 is that you can neutralize his angles. If I'm really close to him, it's really easy for him to move to this side or move to this side because we are in the close range. But if I'm in the long range, if I have some distance, if he's trying to create some angles, I create some distance, I just neutralize, I just block his footwork to get an angle. So creating distance will also neutralize angles from my opponent. Number 3 is that you got more timing. As you get farther away from your opponent, your timing increases. That's obvious. If I'm too close from my opponent, it's really difficult to see his punch coming. If I'm farther away, I have more time or more timing to see my opponent's punch coming. So it will give you a lot more reaction time and it will allow you to counterattack your opponent. In Japanese martial arts, they call it mai, the combination of distance and timing. That's mai. So it's really important to create that distance so you can have more reaction time. And number 4, and one of my favorites, is that when you are fighting and you're really close, you're allowing your opponent to have a lot of opportunities. But when you go into the long range, I'm forcing my opponent to overextend, to commit himself, to try to catch me. And you know, most people, when they want to grab something, they won't walk, they will just extend, they overextend. And that's a common mistake even in the highest professional leagues. So if you go into the long range, you are forcing him to overextend, try to catch you, and it's easy for you to counterattack, get angles, do whatever you want. So the first technique, and it's a fundamental technique, is the desplazamiento, going backwards. I call it desplazamiento. It's basically pushing from your front foot to move backwards. I haven't found an English word. If you know the English word for desplazamiento, leave me in a comment below. So how you do it is basically you're going to push from your front foot. You're going to push from your front foot, but using only the tip of your toe. You're never going to be pushing from your ankle, from your heel. You're always from the tip of the toe. Your right leg or your rear leg is going to raise a little bit, and from there, you basically step back. You step back. You step back. Basically, a desplazamiento is 2 little steps, 1 and 2. You get the same results with just a desplazamiento. So you create a lot of distance only using a single step. But you got to be really explosive. So once you push from your front leg, you have to make sure that you end up with your tip of your toe. It's really important that if I push from here, I end up with the tip of my toe. That will ground me. That will give me balance, and I will be ready to counter any of my opponent's attack. But I want to add another technique into my desplazamiento going backwards. I want to add a frame. And the frame is really important. It's basically just keeping my arm straight. I'm moving this direction, keeping my arm straight. Always your shoulder up, your thumb down, and maybe using your palm. It's basically blocking my opponent's entrance. If he wants to attack, and I just go and I just use my desplazamiento, he can still come. He can still come and be close to me. He can follow me. But if I use a frame, it's easy for me to block him. The second technique I'm going to show you is called a 45-degree switch. If my opponent is following, I don't want to keep just switching my stance in the same line of attack. He can still catch me with punches. So what I'm going to try to do is, if he comes, I'm going to switch my stance just using a step, but also I would suggest to use a roll. I wouldn't just do this and move to the side, because maybe he catch me with a hook. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this 45-degree switch. I'm doing a step with my lead leg. I'm stepping back, and I'm pulling my rear leg with a roll. So I go in with a roll, and I end up with some distance, also in an angle, and I broke the line of attack. It's the same if I'm in a southpaw position. He comes here, I'll go in another position. So drill this so you can have really crisp technique. Using the rope in the floor, they will help you a lot to know exactly where you are moving your feet. The third way you can create some distance is by using your wide stance, mainly used by Floyd Mayweather. What you're using in a wide stance is, of course, you're going to spread your feet apart. You're going to put your weight, you're going to transfer to your rear leg. So while you transfer your weight to your rear leg, you've created a lot of distance. It may not seem like a lot of distance, but remember that boxing is a game of inches. If I'm here just like in the center, I haven't created those inches, and those inches, believe me, they make a lot of difference. So from here, I can put pressure to my opponent. I can go putting pressure and having some distance. It will create an illusion that I'm closer to him. He will probably overextend, and it's easy for me to counter. So make sure you also work sometimes shadow boxing with the weight in your rear leg. Make sure not go all the way back, breaking your balance. Just keep your weight in your rear leg. Keep moving. Maybe use your shoulder roll. Maybe use your front like your regular guard. But keeping your weight in your rear leg will create this illusion, and that's why Mayweather used the pullback. He goes like this. He goes like this. He pulls back and he counters. He uses a lot of these illusions of being closer to his opponent by just having a wide stance and having his weight on the back foot. It's really useful to create some distance, even if you are putting pressure to your opponent. Thanks everyone for watching my video. Remember that you should always be able to create distance, close the gap, attack from different directions, and train human chess. Remember, you have to protect your brain. You don't have to take your head off. If you want an iron chin, the main key to have an iron chin is to spar light, to have a light sparring. That's the key to have an iron chin. The more you have hard sparring, the easier it gets to knock you out. So make sure you use light sparring, have fun, enjoy with other people, teach other people. That's the most important thing. And enjoy. That's the most important thing. I'll see you next week.